morning all. So today we are going to discuss about the rest of the two planar line, and through which we can wind up the microstrip line, and then we can enter to few numericals which we are going to discuss today. So there are two lines which are left. One is coplanar line and one is shielded strip line. So these are very fundamental lines are there. Only two relations we have to identify, but other than this, the planar and the microstrip line are the main important factor of this particular discussion. Okay, here only we are going to identify the characteristics impedance with respect to the dielectric value, because for a microstrip line or a strip line, these are the two factors which always come into picture. One is characteristics impedance of the line, and the second one is the dielectric medium of a particular substrate. Okay, so according to that, as you can see, the coplanar line, it is a cross section. It is made in such a manner that it is quite different from the strip line, microstrip line. In microstrip line we have a ground plane. Okay, then above that a thick substrate we are placing, and above that a thin metallic plate we are placed, which is called as a strip line. Depend upon that W by H ratio, your characteristics impedance and the relative effective permittivity are going to change. And what are the attenuation losses, that also we have seen, due to the ohmic losses, due to the dielectric losses, and due to the radiation losses. So all those things we have seen in the previous class, and also we have identified the quality factor for both the cases, for microstrip line as well as for the planar line. Now this coplanar line is similar to the planar line, okay, but here the difference is there is no ground plane, only substrate is available, above which two strips we are placing, two thin strips we are placing. So depend upon this, the total power is getting need to be calculated with respect to the characteristics impedance. So these are the two basic things. Only the cross section differs. If the cross section differs, it is easy to connection. Here you can see that one of the plate is grounded and one of the plate is provided as a positive potential, so that whatever the electric field will generate or the magnetic field will generate, it will be above this substrate. Okay, between this is positive, this is negative, so electric field can terminate from here to this particular plate. Similarly, magnetic field can also be generated. So using this particular simple construction, two conducting strips on the same surface of a substrate with one strip as a grounded. So this is the cross section wise. Okay. Second point, it is easy to connection because the plates are available on the top of the on the surface of a dielectric substrate. So here the thickness is identified as a D. The cross section, the width of the strips are W, and the separation between those strips is identified as a capital S. So this capital S indicates is a separation distance. Now this thing we will discuss in the next class in more deeper way, depend upon the coupled line. In that coupled line, how we are going to identify the capacitance for different region. If it is between upper plates, what will happen? If it is with respect to dielectric, what will happen? That we will discuss in the next class, because it is not in our syllabus, but I will discuss all those things so that you people can understand what is the actual working principle of this coplanar line. But for the time being, only the relations according to the things what it is given in your syllabus, according to that I am going through it. But apart from this coplanar, we will discuss in the next class in a more brief manner. What are the capacitance will come, how this capacitance help to generate the electric fields and magnetic fields, and how this analysis was done, that we will discuss. Okay. Next one is our shielded. So here you can see the characteristics impedance due to the presence of this two strip line. It is a twice average power divided by I naught square. It is a general relation. Okay. But what is this average power? Average power is the half, as we are identifying the Poynting vector, the same power we are going to identify with respect to this coplanar line. So what it is? It is average power is half of real of surface integration E cross H dot ds. So here we are taking that wave is propagating along z axis. So electric field and magnetic field will propagate along x and y axis. So whole cross section will be made up of dx dy, whose normal direction is along az axis. So here I have written the surface we are considering as a dx dy dot az. So this surface, when I am multiplying to this, so it is half surface integration means double integration 1 with the variation of x-axis, one variation of y-axis, E cross H. So E is propagating along x-axis, H is propagating along y-axis. So the surface will be made by x and y. So it is dx into dy. So this is the small relation. Okay. Now similarly, there is one more shielded strip line. Shielded strip line means here two ground plane will be there. In basic strip lines we have seen there is only one ground plane, but here there are two ground planes. Two conductive ground planes are there, and one thin strip will be embedded with the dielectric medium. As you can see, this is whole dielectric value, and this is a small strip mounted on the dielectric, and the dielectric was enclosed by the two parallel plates, two ground planes. So the separation between these two ground plane is small d, where width of this strip line is w. So here whatever the aspect ratio will generate, it will be with respect to w by d. But previously we have said it is w by h, but here the cross section differs. Okay, so due to the differ in the cross section, the separation between these two plates is d. So your aspect ratio here we are going to identify as w by d ratio, w by d ratio. Okay, and for that also, for wider strip, for thinner strip, a narrow strip, that also we can calculate easily. Only we have to check whether our width of that strip is greater than the d or not. If it is greater, that means w by d ratio is greater than 1. Next, the strip conductor embedded in a dielectric and its top and bottom ground plane have no connection. So your top and bottom ground plane don't have any sort of connection. So whatever the electric field will be generated, it will be generated like this. It will terminate here. These are the electric fields. This will be generated like this, because when you provide the potential to this strip, the electric field will generate due to the distribution of charge. So if the distribution of charge, the electric field will propagate in terminate in the upper plate as well as in the lower plate. Similarly, magnetic field can also be generated. Okay. Now depend upon this, we need to calculate what is the characteristics impedance, because here again the characteristics impedance plays a vital role. Now here in this case, here the electric fields which are emerging out from this particular point, edges point like this, due to which the fringing effect will come into picture. So if the fringing effect is there, we need to calculate the fringing capacitance. So always remember that this shielded strip line is a line in which we are going to calculate the fringing capacitance. It is only with respect to the shielded one, but in other case we are not considering that fringing capacitance. Okay. So here you can see, for the wider strip means your width of this strip is greater than the separation between this ground plane. So w by d ratio is greater than 0.35 as I have wrote. So this 0.35 is a standardized value. So if w by d ratio is greater than 0.35, that means it indicates it is a wider strip. Now next comes, what is its characteristics impedance? So this is the standardized form for a characteristics impedance, that is 94.15 divided by epsilon r, and it is w by d into k plus cf 8.854 epsilon r inverse. So this equation is also given by the Poeckel equation as it was identified for the previous strip line. So these equations are having some derivation, but here no need to identify those derivation, only the relation is sufficient for us, because here you can see that your dielectric permittivity is inversely proportional to the characteristics impedance. It must satisfy, because intrinsic impedance, when we are identifying for a wave, it is mu by epsilon. So this mu is for permeability and epsilon is for permittivity of that medium, and you can easily identify what is the wave impedance of that particular medium. Okay. Similarly, when the wave is propagating in this medium, it should have some characteristic impedance. This line must have characteristics impedance, and this characteristics impedance must depend upon the dielectric constant. So here it is 94.15 divided by epsilon r, and here w by d k plus cf divided by 8.854 epsilon r whole to the power minus 1. Here k indicate it is a constant factor, where k is equals to 1 by 1 minus t by d. T is the thickness of the strip and D is the separation of this two grounded plane. Okay, so it is 1 by 1 minus T by D, where T is the thickness, D is the distance between ground plane, and Cf is the fringing capacitance. As I have told, from the edges electric field will move out because the space is available. So if the electric fields are moving out from the edges, due to which some electric field will terminate in the upper plate, some it will terminate at the lower plate, due to which the fringing capacitance will be generated due to the fringing effect. Okay. So fringing capacitance is 8.854 divided by pi epsilon r 2k ln of k plus 1 minus k minus 1 ln of k square minus 1 picofarad per meter. So that means from this relation we can conclude your fringing capacitance depends upon dielectric of the substrate and the K value, which indicates the thickness of the strip and the separation of the particular ground plane. So depend upon this we are going to calculate the fringing capacitance. So these are the basic relations. Okay, these are the basic relations through which we can easily determine the given unknown factors. Suppose if Z0 we have to calculate, K value is given, Cf is also given, epsilon r is given, we can easily calculate the characteristics impedance. So these are the two lines which is left with respect to parallel and the microstrip line. Here we are not calculating any quality factor because the quality factor and all these things are same for these two. Okay, attenuation factor, attenuation losses, how many types of losses, and losses are basically occur due to the ohmic losses, then with respect to dielectric loss and with respect to radiation loss, because these are the strip line means that will satisfy. And even we are calculating the quality factor for both. Since it is a planar line, so coplanar, most of the equations will be same for the coplanar as well as for planar line. Only the difference is characteristics impedance as well as dielectric mediums. Okay. Now we are going to discuss few numericals with respect to microstrip line, with respect to planar line, with respect to coplanar, and with respect to shielded. Okay, so here I have written one question that we are going to solve. It is a simple one. A certain microstrip line has following parameter. Means it was discussed that it is asking about the microstrip line, and the all parameters are given. Epsilon r is 5.23, then h is equals to 7 millimeter, t is equals to 2.8 millimeter, and w, which is the width of the strip, is 10 millimeter. And calculate Z0 of the line. Okay. Now here, first of all, you have to check your W by H ratio is greater than 1 or not. Okay. W by H ratio is the aspect ratio of the microstrip line. Here W is 10, H is 7, so definitely it is greater than 1. So that means we are discussing about the wider strip. Okay. Now once this wider strip is identified, next we have to calculate what is the characteristics impedance. So general equation for the characteristics impedance of a strip line, directly we will write as, it is 87 divided by epsilon r plus 1.41, then ln of 5.98 h divided by 0.8 w plus t. T is the thickness. So this is the basic relation for our characteristics impedance for microstrip line. For W by H ratio greater than 1, in that case we have seen case 1, case 2, case 3. If W by H ratio is greater than 1, what will happen? If it is less than 1, what will happen? So since here W by H ratio is greater than 1, we are using this particular relation. So in place of epsilon r, you can substitute 5.23 plus 1.41, then ln of 5.98, what is h? H is 7 millimeter, 0.8 into w, w is 10, and t is the thickness, that is 2.8. Now with the help of a calculator you can solve it, and most of the maximum value you will get is 45.78 ohm. So this much you will get after if you calculate it with the help of calculator. So only here the relation matters. You have to check whether W by H ratio is greater than 1 or W by H ratio is less than 1. According to that, you have to select the relation and you have to put the all values. Whatever the given data is available, substitute it and get your answer. Okay. Next question we will take. Okay. So this is one more question. So here it is given a lossless parallel strip line. So here it is identified with parallel strip line, and that to be a lossless. Okay. Has the conducting strip of width W. Width is of W. The substrate dielectric separating two conducting strip has a relative dielectric value epsilon RD is 6. Okay. Relative dielectric value, that is epsilon RD, and the thickness T is equals to 4 millimeter is given. Okay. What are the information? First information, it is a lossless parallel strip line, that is the first information, whose width is W. Okay. Has a conducting width strip is small w. Next, it has given relative dielectric permittivity is 6 and the thickness is given as 4 millimeter. Next, for a required W, characteristics impedance is 50. If here condition is if Z0 is 50, then determine your width. So that is the first question. Second, the strip line capacitance and inductance we have to identify. And the last one is the phase velocity. So for parallel line we have easily identified the distributed lump parameter RLGC. Now since if it is a lossless line, your R and G value both are 0. Only the values are existing, that is L and C. Okay. So due to the lossless, I will write due to the lossless your R and G both are 0. Here we have to identify the L value, C value, width and phase velocity. Phase velocity is easy one that we can easily identify. So let me solve first for the width. So width relation we have, it is 377 divided by epsilon RD D by Z0. So this is the small relation which already we have discussed while discussing the parallel line. So here you can write 377 epsilon RD is given as 6, D is equals to 4 millimeter thickness. So it is 4 into 10 to the power minus 3 and Z0 is given as 50. So if you solve this, you will get around 12.31 millimeter. So this is the width because parallel line W by T ratio. So it is D is the thickness, that is 12.31 millimeter you will get. So this is your width of the strip line. Okay. This is first one. Second, what is our capacitance and inductance? Now these are the distributed element. These units will be farad per meter and Henry per meter. So this capacitance and inductance are calculated with respect to the length. Okay. So here the capacitance I can write epsilon D W by D and L is equals to mu C into D by W. So this is the basic relation. Now what is the epsilon D? Epsilon D is equals to 8.854 into 10 to the power minus 12 into epsilon RD, that is 6. What is the width? Width we have got 12.31 into 10 to the power minus 3 whole divided by D, that is 4 into 10 to the power minus 3. So if you solve this, you will get around 163.50 picofarad per meter. Okay. Similarly, L relation we have mu C D by W. So mu value is 4 pi into 10 to the power minus 7. D is our 4 millimeter and width is our 12.31 millimeter. So if you solve this, you will get around 0.41 microhenry per meter. So this is the relation what we have already discussed in our derivation. Distributed parameter L, C, R and G for the lossy case. If it is a lossless, your R and G both are 0. It will depend upon L and C. And the last one, what is the phase velocity? Phase velocity I can write directly C divided by epsilon RD. Okay, epsilon RD is how much? Epsilon RD is 6. So it is 3 into 10 to the power 8 divided by root 6, which is equals to 1.22 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. So this much will be your phase velocity. Now always remember that your total epsilon is equals to epsilon into epsilon RD. Okay, epsilon naught into epsilon RD. This is epsilon D. Remember this relation that I have substituted here. Epsilon D is epsilon naught into epsilon RD. Substitute the value, you will get your answer. Now what is L is equals to mu C into D by W. Mu C is nothing but permeability of a conductor, which is same as your air medium. That is 4 pi into 10 to the power minus 7. D is the thickness, 4 into 10 to the power minus 3 divided by 12.31, that is the width of the strip, and you will get 0.41 microhenry per meter. And phase velocity, what is the relation with phase velocity? Phase velocity is C divided by epsilon, but basically it is 1 by root over of LC. Now if you substitute these two relation, you will get mu C into epsilon D. Okay, so here I will write mu C into epsilon D. So this mu C you can write mu naught, epsilon D you can write epsilon naught into epsilon RD. So 1 by mu naught into epsilon naught, this will become C, and this is epsilon RD. So that I have substituted here directly, and I have determined 1.22 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. So like this questions will come in your exam. It will identify, it will give the hint whether it is a lossy line, whether it is a lossless line, and which type of line. Here I have given it is a parallel strip line. So for parallel strip line, you have to recognize what are the relations are there, and as per the relation you have to substitute and you have to identify the values. Okay, one more question we will take. Okay, so this is one more question. Here it is given, a coplanar strip line carries an average power. Coplanar, what we have discussed today, with an average power of 250 milliwatt and a peak current of 100 milliwatt. You have to determine what is the characteristic impedance. It is simple one. So what I will write? So the characteristic impedance Z0, we have twice of average power divided by I0 square. Simple relation. Only we have to substitute the value. So twice into 250 milliwatt divided by I0 square, so it is 100 square into 10 to the power minus 12. Milli means it is minus 6 it will come. Okay, so 2 into 250 into 10 to the power minus 3, this is 10 to the power 4 into 10 to the power minus 6. So if you take it, you will get 500. Okay, it is minus 2 10 to the power minus 1, so it is 50 ohm. So your characteristics impedance for the coplanar strip line, if the average power is 250 with a peak current is 100 milliampere, then the characteristics impedance for that coplanar line will be 50. So like this questions will come, 2 marks question, but when the parameters they will ask with respect to A, B, C and D, it may increase your marks also. Okay. Okay, so now the question is with respect to the shielded line. Okay, so it is a shielded strip line. So whatever the derivation I have mentioned here, only you have to substitute the value. So what it has given has a following parameter with a dielectric constant of an insulator. Epsilon R value is 2.56, width of the strip is given as 25 millimeter, thickness of the strip is given as 14 millimeter, and the separation between two ground planes, this plane and this plane, D, is 70 millimeter. And we have to calculate what is K factor, what is fringing capacitance, and what is characteristics impedance. So all the relations are available here. Only I am going to substitute one by one. So first is K factor. So for K factor we have a relation 1 by 1 minus T by D. So what is D? D is 70. Substitute here. So 70 minus T is how much? 14. And okay. So if you solve this, how much we are getting? It is 6. It is 656. So K factor is around 1.25. You can identify with the help of calculator. Similarly, the fringing capacitance, we have a relation. It is 8.854 divided by pi into epsilon r. Epsilon r is 2.56. Directly I am substituting. Then twice of K, 2 into 1.25. Then ln of 1.25 plus 1 minus 1.25 minus 1 whole into ln of 1.25 whole square minus 1. So if you solve this relation, you will get your fringing capacitance, and the fringing capacitance is around 15.61 picofarad per meter. So your K factor is 1.25, fringing capacitance is 15.61. Similarly, the characteristics impedance we can substitute here directly. 94.15 divided by epsilon r, then W by D into K plus CF divided by 8.854 into epsilon r whole to the power minus 1. So whatever the data is available, you can substitute it. Epsilon r is 2.56, W is 25, D is 70, CF value is 15.61 picofarad per meter, epsilon r value is 2.56, and if you calculate it, you will get around 50.29 ohm. So this is the characteristics impedance which you will determine after substituting the value. I have directly written the value, just check it out. Only you need to substitute these all values in this particular equation. So this is about the shielded strip line. Okay. One more question we will take. Okay. So here one more question. So microstrip line. About microstrip line, this question is given, which is constructed of a perfect conductor and a lossless dielectric board. Okay. The relative dielectric constant is 5.23 and with characteristics impedance 50 ohm, and you have to calculate L and C value. Now for this, how to proceed? We have the relation, that is width is equal to 377 divided by epsilon RD D by W, which is our characteristics impedance. So this is the relation for that particular given question. Now here we have to calculate L and C, and L and C is basically related with respect to D by W ratio for a strip line. Next, okay, so here 50 is given. It is 377 divided by epsilon RD is 5.23 and D by W ratio. So from this we can have D by W is equals to 50 root 5.23 divided by 377. You can calculate with the help of calculator and find out what is the D by W. So this is most about the parallel microstrip line I am asking. Okay, here we can write it is a parallel microstrip line. Then So here it is 50 and d by w. So d by w ratio we have identified. Here we have to calculate, since it is a lossless, your R and G value both are 0. So L and C value, how to calculate? L is equals to mu C d by w and C is equals to epsilon d w by d. So this is the basic relation. So we have to substitute this value. So what is mu C? It is 4 pi into 10 to the power minus 7, and d by w is, we have 50 root 5.23 divided by 377, this much directly. So if it is not parallel line, also for microstrip line, your RLGC parameter you have to identify. RLGC parameter will be same as for the parallel line also. Okay, that we have seen how to determine the distributed parameter. So distributed parameter means the RLGC component. So L is equals to mu C d by w. Similarly, so whatever the value we will get, your unit will be Henry per meter. Next, if it is capacitance, we have to calculate what is epsilon d. Epsilon d is equals to epsilon naught into epsilon RD, relative dielectric constant. So here I will write 8.854 into 10 to the power minus 12. What is epsilon RD? It is 5.23. What is d by w? D by w means just reverse of this, whole into 377 divided by 50 root over of 5.23. It will be in farad per meter. With the help of a calculator, you can calculate and get this value. So I have represented with respect to the relation, substitute the given data and find out what is the specific value for inductance and capacitance. But the unit will be in terms of Henry per meter. Maybe it be in micro or milli, whatever it will come, but it will be in a Henry per meter. Here either it is a picofarad, microfarad, whatever it is, represent with respect to farad. This is F by M. Okay. So this is farad per meter, this is Henry per meter. So this is inductance and capacitance for the given question. Similarly, if other parameters need to be calculated, they will give the information. Here it is given, it is a lossless information, means your R and G both are 0. So L and C we have to calculate. Here one more factor, if I want to include what is phase velocity, then phase velocity is equals to 1 by root over of LC. Okay, or directly you can write it is C divided by root over of epsilon RD. So C is 3 into 10 to the power 8 and epsilon RD is a 5.23. So if you solve this, you will get your phase velocity. Similarly, you can determine the wavelength also. Okay, depend upon this particular factor. You have to identify all these relations step by steps. Okay, one more question we will take. Okay, so this is one more question. As it is given, a microstrip line is constructed with respect to a copper conductor and the dielectric medium is a nylon phenolic board, and the relative dielectric constant for the board material is 4.19. Epsilon RD is given. Okay, measured at 25 gigahertz, means that microstrip line is operating at a 25 gigahertz, and the thickness of the substrate, means H, is 19 millimeter. The width, the line width, means the transmission line width, is 25 millimeter with a thickness of 2.8 millimeter. And here we have to calculate the characteristics impedance, dielectric, filling factor Q. You people have remembered that what is the value of Q, how we are identifying it. Okay. Then alpha D, that is attenuation factor for dielectric medium due to the dielectric medium. Then surface resistance at 25 gigahertz and alpha suffix C. So these are the unknown quantity. With the help of the relation what we have derived in the previous class, with the help of that we are going to identify all this relation. Okay, so step by step we will see. So first is our characteristics impedance. So characteristics impedance, in the first problem we have used the same relation. It is 87 epsilon r 1.41 ln of 5.98 h divided by 0.8 w plus t. Okay, so whatever the value is given, you have to substitute here. So this epsilon r we are identifying with the help of relative permittivity. Epsilon r is given as 4.19. Okay, so directly it is 4.19. Okay, so it is 87 divided by 4.19 plus 1.14, then ln of 5.98. What is the thickness of the substrate? It is 19 millimeter. Width of the line is 25 and the thickness is 2.8. So if you solve this, you will get your characteristics impedance whose unit is ohm. I don't have calculator, so I couldn't calculate it. You people try to calculate this unknown factor. Okay, so this is our characteristics impedance. Second is our dielectric filling factor Q. Okay, so Q is equals to epsilon Re minus 1 divided by epsilon R minus 1. Okay, so epsilon Re is the relative effective permittivity. Relative effective permittivity means it will include the dielectric value with respect to the conductor. So if it is called as a relative permittivity, so we have seen the relation epsilon Re is equals to 0.475 times of epsilon R plus 0.67. So remember this relation. Okay, so here epsilon Re is equals to 0.75, epsilon R is 4.19 plus 0.67. Solve it, you will get your epsilon Re. Now once this epsilon Re is known, substitute here. Epsilon R value is given as 4.19. Substitute here and you will get your filling factor, that is Q. That is Q is equals to epsilon Re. Epsilon Re is the relative effective permittivity. Remember this. Epsilon Rd is the relative dielectric constant. Here the relative dielectric constant is given directly as 4.19, that is epsilon R. Okay. So next one is epsilon. Next one is alpha D, dielectric attenuation constant. So directly we will substitute. We have the relation, that is 27.3 whole into Q into epsilon R divided by epsilon Re, then tan theta divided by lambda G. Okay. Now what is lambda G? Lambda G is the guided wavelength, lambda naught divided by epsilon Re. Okay. So what is lambda naught? It is C by F divided by epsilon naught Re. So epsilon naught Re you have identified from this point. Substitute here. You will get your lambda G. Now what is loss tangent angle? That is tan theta. Tan theta is equals to sigma by omega epsilon. Okay. Now what is the sigma value? Sigma is with respect to the conductivity of the board, dielectric board. So you have to see what is the nylon phenolic board, because this is the dielectric medium. So here this sigma D divided by omega epsilon. Epsilon means epsilon naught into epsilon R. So that you have to substitute sigma D divided by omega epsilon naught into epsilon R. Epsilon R is given as 4.19. And what is sigma D? You have to check the conductivity of nylon phenolic board. Its conductivity will be given. Substitute here. You will get your loss tangent angle tan theta. Substitute here. Lambda G we have calculated from this relation. Substitute here. Q factor we have identified from this relation. Substitute here. Alpha R, epsilon R is 4.19, and what is epsilon Re? Epsilon Re what we have got from this particular relation. Substitute here, you will get your alpha d. Similarly, next surface resistance also we can calculate as Rs, that is Rs is equals to pi f mu divided by sigma. So this is the relation for the surface resistance. At what particular frequency? At 25 gigahertz. So here pi is 3.14, frequency is 25 into 10 to the power 9. What is mu? Mu is same as your air medium, that is 4 pi into 10 to the power minus 7. And what is sigma? Sigma is the conductivity of the copper material. Here this is the copper material, because surface resistance we are identifying for the metal, but here the loss tangent whatever we are calculating, it is with respect to the dielectric medium, because here it is dielectric attenuation we are identifying. Need not to confuse in these two parameters. Here it is sigma d, here it is sigma c. So sigma c for copper is 5.13 into 10 to the power. For the copper material, it is 5.13 into 10 to the power minus 7 or plus 7 mho per meter. So this is the conductivity for the copper. You need to substitute here. So it is 5.13 into 10 to the power 7. Solve it, you will get your surface resistance in terms of ohm. Okay. Now we have left with alpha suffix c. Alpha suffix c, attenuation constant due to the conductor, because since it is a strip line, it will have the attenuation loss due to the contribution of the conductor and as well as your dielectric medium. So alpha c, we have the relation, it is 8.686 into surface resistance divided by Z0 into W. So whatever the surface resistance we have calculated from this, you need to substitute in this one. Okay, Z0 is given what we have calculated from the first point, substitute that value. Width is also given, that is 25, substitute 25 here. So you will get all these things in Nepper per meter. Similarly, alpha d is also you will get in terms of Nepper per meter. Here in the question it is not asked about the losses due to the attenuation. If it is losses with respect to dielectric and conduction, you have to convert this Nepper per meter into decibel per meter. How? 1 Nepper per meter is equals to 8.686 decibel per meter, that you have to substitute, and you have to multiply with this factor so that alpha c value can be represented in terms of losses. Okay, so these are the certain relation through which we can approach the unknown factor for the given question, for the given strip line. You have to identify first which strip line it is asking, whether it is a microstrip, whether it is a parallel line, whether it is a coplanar line, whether it is a shielded line. According to that you have to proceed. Okay, one more question we will take and then we will wind up today's session. Okay, so this is the last question which we are going to discuss. A gold parallel strip line. That means in the parallel strip line the metal is our gold and the dielectric material is following relative dielectric material is a Teflon. The dielectric material is a Teflon and the conductor is a gold, okay, who's having the relative permittivity, that is epsilon Rd is 2.1. Strip width means that gold strip, metal strip width is 26 millimeter with a conductivity of 4.1 into 10 to the power 7 mho per meter or Siemens per meter, and the separation means separation of the strip line, that is D is equals to 5 millimeter, and the frequency, operating frequency is 10 gigahertz is given. Okay, so two parallel plate line are there, two parallel plate. Those plates are made up of gold and the separation is identified with the dielectric material, that is the Teflon, whose value is given. Conductivity is also given. Conductivity of gold is given. Okay, and we have to identify the surface resistance, characteristics, impedance and phase velocity in a very easy manner. How to proceed? as well as we can determine what is the guided wavelength also. It is easy one. Let's see. So first one is surface resistance. So surface resistance we have, basically surface resistance are identified for the conductor, not dielectric. Remember that. So it is pi f mu divided by sigma. So pi is 3.14, f is 10 gigahertz, 10 into 10 to the power 9, and mu is 4 pi into 10 to the power minus 7 whole divided by sigma 4.1 into 10 to the power 7. So if you solve this, you will get your surface resistance in terms of ohm per square. Okay, this is the first one. Second, what is the characteristics impedance? So characteristics impedance for the parallel line, that we will substitute directly. 377 divided by root over of epsilon RD whole into d by w. Okay, so 377 divided by epsilon RD is 2.1, d is 5 millimeter, and w is 26 millimeter. Solve this, you will get your answer in terms of ohm. Okay, see, next one is our phase velocity. Now phase velocity is what? It is c divided by epsilon RD. Simple relation. So what is c? 3 into 10 to the power 8 divided by epsilon RD is how much? 2.1. Solve this, you will get all this relation in terms of meter per second. And the last one, what is the guided wavelength? So guided wavelength is lambda naught divided by epsilon RD. Okay, but what is lambda naught? Lambda naught is c by f. So 3 into 10 to the power 8, and f is 10 gigahertz, 10 to the power 9. So 3 into 10 to the power minus 2. Like this I can write. So this is my wavelength. So here I will substitute 3 into 10 to the power minus 2 divided by 2.1. If you solve this, you will get all your answer in terms of lambda will be meter, surface resistance ohm per square, then impedance it is in terms of ohm, and the velocity it is in terms of meter per second. So like this question it will come in your exam. First of all, you have to go through all the derivations very briefly, very neatly, step by step, so that whenever this sort of question they will ask, directly we can recall all those relations and substitute the value, and easily we can identify the unknown factors with the help of the given hints. Okay, so these are these sort of questions may come in your internals. Okay, so next class we are going to discuss more about, means brief about that coplanar line, what are the factors are there, what are the capacitive factors are there, small derivations are there, and then we'll enter to the basic features of an antenna. So next class we are going to discuss more about antenna properties. Okay, so till then practice all these things, and these sort of questions may come in your exam, in your internals, as well as in your final year questions. Okay, thank you all.